Guys, happy Saturday. I'm going to go through the what, how, and why behind my cold calling that I do every single day. I'm going to show you how I fill my funnel with not only appointments, but emails that I can contact forever. I'm going to go through what exactly I have open. I'm looking at my laptop right now, what I have open, and I'm also going to give you guys some discount codes, so if you want to do a lot of this stuff yourself, you can get a little bit of cut out of the money that you're going to be spending monthly, right? So, number one, I use RedX. Okay, I use RedX to make all my phone calls, and they're phenomenal. I think it's $250 up front, if I remember correctly, and then it's $50 a month for GeoLeads. GeoLeads, you get 2,000. It's not phone numbers, it's households, and you get that every single month, right? So you can pick where you want to get those 2,000. So let me make a point too. Even though you get 2,000 houses, I find that you average about 2.5 numbers per house. So you're getting about 5,000 phone numbers every single month. I don't call anywhere near 5,000 a month, so it's more than I'll ever need, right? So for that reason, I use RedX GeoLeads. $50 a month is so cheap. And listen, I'm going to put a discount down below in the comments. If you go check that out, you can actually get it without paying the $250 upfront fee, saving you a load of money, okay? So now I'm making my calls, right? Most salesmen are thinking the goal is an appointment. I'd love an appointment too, but some people just aren't ready, right? So if they're not ready, you lose. You don't get the appointment. They're done. They're gone. You don't get anything out of that. I still want to win. So what I do is I say, okay, cool. I see that you're not doing anything for a while. Would you mind if I got an email address and I kept in contact with you until you are ready? And a lot of people give me an email. So if I call 100 numbers, I might get 3 to 8 email addresses, right? So every day, maybe I can only call 100, 200 people. But when I send my weekly email out and you get that sucker rolling, man, you can email thousands of people every single week, which gives you the opportunity to leverage your time, right? You're leveraging your time and you're prospecting to so many more people. And even though you're starting today and it's only got this much impact because you've only got so many emails, if you do it consistently over years, the benefit that comes to you is so much greater over time. So you really just got to start it, right? So my third tab, I'll get to the second tab shortly, is Constant Contact. So anytime somebody gives me an email address and their information, I just go right to Constant Contact, punch it in, and now they're on my weekly email every single week for life, all right? Now, again with them, if you want to get, I think it's 30% off for the first 3 months. And I think from memory, if you've got up to 500 emails, it's 40 or $50 a month. And then if you've got up to 2,500, it's like 70 a month. If you want 30% off for the first 3 months, again, I'll put a code down below in the comments. Go check that out, and then you can get the 30% off, right? So what's my second tab? My second tab is the MLS. So with the GeoLeads, I'll find a subdivision that I know I want to market to, or that I want to call, right? And I'll go find a home that just sold in the last week or two that's close to all the homes I'm about to call. That way, when I call up, instead of it being a cold call, I can turn it into a warm call by saying, hey, there was a home that just sold and blah, blah, blah. And it's more of an information call than a sales call, right? I want to give you the information. I hope that it's helpful for you. Oh, by the way, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. i.e., can I give you a market analysis? Would you like me to come over and tell you the value of your home? Are you interested in buying investment properties? It really leads to a lot of very interesting conversations, and those conversations keep your, I can't say that all at once, those conversations keep your funnel full throughout time, right? So that's the whole purpose of this, is to constantly keep the sales funnel full so that you've constantly got people you're working with. All right, so let's get into it. What I'm going to do right now is we're going to get RedX up and rolling. I'm not going to edit any of this unless people are giving me personal information. If they give me personal information, I'm just going to cut it out and it'll go. So if you see little skips, that's why, in the middle of a phone call. Otherwise, I want you to hear what I'm saying. I want you to hear what I'm doing well with. I want you to hear what I'm failing with. You'll see all of it. So right now, I'm going to go over to RedX, and I'm calling a specific subdivision right now. And again, on the MLS, I've got it set up so that I see all the homes that have sold in the last 30 days in that area. So if that conversation pops up, we've got something going. I'm going to hit the start button, and then what it's going to do is it's going to call my phone. There it is.
Welcome to Storm.
Hopefully you can hear this.
Continue.
Okay, I'm going to set my microphone a little bit closer here. All right, and now we're going to dial. This is the exciting part. The wait, the anticipation.
Here concepts.
Oh man, I got the wrong number. I apologize. Thanks. Okay, so you're going to get wrong numbers. It happens. You just mark them as wrong numbers and you move on. I usually don't leave voicemails. You can. I will leave one here eventually, but just right now we're going to keep moving. I want you to see the actual conversation. So I've got a triple dialer. So what it does is it calls 3 numbers at once. It saves me so much time. If you've ever dialed these one at a time,
sorry, but the person you called has a voice mailbox that has not been set up.
And then you use a triple dialer, I forget what the triple dialer cost me a month. I think it's $150. You can get a single dialer too, and it's not as expensive, but it saves you so much time. It's unquestionably worth it. We've already made 6 phone calls. It's been like 2 minutes.
Please leave your message for
all right, we'll leave a message here, all right?
203.
It's really simple.
597.
Hey, good morning. This is Joe Rosen with Keller Williams here in Port St. Lucie. Say, I'm calling because I see that you're on Southwest Quarry Street, and there was a home just a few blocks down that had sold 2 days ago. I was just calling to see if there's anything in the world I could do for you. Feel free to call me back. Again, it's Joe Rosen, and I'm with Keller Williams, and the number here is 772-281-7781. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. All right. Now, when you go in here into, they call it the vortex, right, through RedX, there are different dispositions that you can give a number. So let me pull it up here. So you can actually use this as a CRM, right? There's a load of them. I'm going to name them all off right here. Interested, callback set, appointment set, and then you can put notes in there, right? Good number, refer, someone who's going to give you a referral. Voice message, no answer, not interested, relisted, previously sold, wrong, or trash number, right? It'll also tell you if it thinks it's a realtor's number. It calls it an agent number. So you get all that information. Again, you can use, I don't use it as a CRM, but you certainly can. And it's a phenomenal system. And if you have any quirks, anything you don't understand, anything like that, you can call them up, and they've got a team that'll get in touch with you in minutes, and you got all your answers, right? Okay, so we got that one marked. Let's keep going.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
Not going to waste my time on that. Keep water. Hey, Tracy?
Hello?
Oh, is this Francis?
No, this is not Tracy. Yeah, hi, who's this?
Hey, Francis, this is Joe Rosen with Keller Williams. How you doing?
Keller Williams, who are you guys?
Yeah, it's a real estate company. It's probably, I see you're on Quarry Street.
Let me tell you, listen to me carefully.
Yeah.
Don't call me back again with this crap, okay? Don't, okay?
What? Okay. All right, you get that sometimes. That's all right. He said, don't call me back again. You got it. So I'm going to go through and mark all of his numbers, because I've got 3 numbers, as not interested. And we hit the resume button. It's as easy as that, folks. I think a lot of people get scared when that stuff pops up, and they're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? You're going to get told not to call them again, and you're not going to call them again. It's pretty simple. Okay, got rid of that wrong number.
beautiful bride Jake. Please leave me a detailed message and I will get back.
Not the right number. I get the question a lot, how many wrong numbers do you get, right? It really depends on the subdivision. And I'll give you two like opposite ends of the spectrum answers. When I do a 55 plus community, it's probably 95% accurate. It's very accurate. I think it's older people who have landlines that they use. When I go to a younger community filled with 20 and 30-year-olds, it's a lot less accurate for whatever reason, right? But if you've got a dialer, you're going through the numbers so quickly and it's keeping you on the phone. To me, it doesn't matter if it's 50% accurate or 90% accurate. If I've got a dialer, I'm constantly on the phone with somebody, so it just doesn't matter to me, right? If you're dialing them one by one, yes, it matters. I've looked at the accuracy rates of, I think it was Vulcan, Mojo, RedX. I just find that RedX for me was the best. But, you know, depending on which area you're in, maybe you'll find something else. But I love it. Because it's only monthly, I would try it out. If you don't like it, go with one of the other ones. Try them out, right? One other point I want to make. You'll notice that the call where I got told to get lost, right? When that person picked up, I just heard like, eh, and that's all I heard. So I couldn't tell if it was a male or a female, and I forget what the names were now. Was it Tracy and Francis? Can't remember. So I just picked one. I picked Tracy. That wasn't right. So I said, oh, Francis. And then we started chatting, right? I do that because if you just say, hey, this is Joe Rosen with Keller Williams, the hang-up rate is pretty high. But if I say, hey, Tracy, and they say, yeah, and I pause, right? And then I wait until they say, yeah. And then I say, hey, man, this is Joe Rosen with Keller Williams. How you doing? I get a much better rate of continuing the conversation, right? So that's why I do it. I took a risk there. I failed. It didn't work out. But if you do that every time, your rate over time will be better than if you just start with, hey, this is so-and-so at such and such real estate company. You're going to get a lot higher hang-up rate. All right, we've already, like I've been BSing, right? Explaining what I'm doing. We've been on the phone for 7.5 minutes. I've called 19 people already. Here we go, here we go. Another cool.
Hello. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hey, good morning. This is Joe Rosen with Keller Williams here in Port St. Lucie. Say, I'm calling because I see that you're on Atema Road there, and there was a home just down the street that had sold 2 days ago. I was just calling to see if there's anything I could do for you. Feel free to call me back. Again, it's Joe Rosen with Keller Williams, and the number here is 772-281-7781. Thanks. Have a great day. All right. So what I was going to say is, cool thing about a dialer, I can see it calling 3 numbers. If none of those numbers are going to pick up and they're all going to go to voicemail eventually, I just skipped, I don't know what that takes, 12, 15 seconds. For easy numbers, let's say 15 seconds. It would have taken me 15, that's 45 seconds to get onto that 4th number. Instead, it takes me 15. I can choose to leave a voicemail or not leave a voicemail, and then I'm on to the next call, right? It saves me so much time, and it's constantly keeping me on the phone. So that's a huge plus. And then it's also got a feature in here that I'm not using, but you could use, where you can set up a voicemail to leave automatically. So it doesn't even give you the option. When voicemail hits, it takes it out of the queue, it leaves a voicemail, and while it's leaving a voicemail, it's pumping in that 3rd number, so you're constantly staying on the phones, right? So that's another option. There's another option where, you know, you're calling 3 people, right? What happens when phone number 1 picks up and you start talking to them, and while you're talking to them, phone 2 picks up. So you can leave a pre-recorded message for that too. So what I do is I say, hey, this is Joe Rosen with Keller Williams. How you doing? Hey, are you there? For some reason, I'm in a bad location. I can't hear you, but I'm going to call you right back. And then it hangs up, right? So if that person heard that, it puts that right back in the queue so that when I get off the phone with phone call number 1, it immediately goes to phone call number 2, and it only calls that number. It doesn't load up 3 numbers. It just calls that number, and it calls it it's like a priority number or something, but it basically lets you know you just left one of those pre-recorded voice messages. You need to talk to this person. So it's a really cool function. All right, we're at 21. I have to get at least 65 today, so let's keep going.
Hello?
Hey, Lorenza.
Got a wrong number.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks. All right, another wrong number. No big deal. All right. Here comes a voicemail.
You have reached the voicemail box of 5413.
We're not going to leave any more voicemails. We're just going to keep rolling, man. Let's get to those conversations. I get so excited. Come on.
Thank you for calling Lawn Cherry USA. Our business hours.
Nope. Let's keep her going. Okay, I can see right now I've got someone on the other line that's getting my message, right? My pre-recorded message. So it's going to throw them into a queue here shortly. Probably right now. Here we go. Yep, it's calling them.
Hello?
Hey, Steve.
Yes.
Hey, this is Joe Rosen with Keller Williams. How you doing? Are you there?
Hello?
Hey, say, I'm calling...
Yeah, I'm
Go ahead.
who are you?
I'm Joe Rosen with Keller Williams. I'm probably 10 minutes westy over there by the PGA golf course. But I don't want to waste your time. I'm just calling. I see you're on Culpeper Avenue. There was a home just a couple blocks down that had sold 2 days ago. I was just calling to see if there's anything I can help you with.
You want to mow my yard?
If that's what you need help with, absolutely.
No. I'm not interested in selling.
Okay. If you were to do something down the road, is there a
The
real...
house sell?
Go ahead.
No. I have no intention of selling.
Okay. You want to know what the house sold
The
for?
house down the road sell for?
It was a brand new build by D.R. Horton. It had a little over 1,800 square feet, and it sold for $241,185.
Yeah. Well, mine's like 2,300 feet with 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and outside I got to put a new roof on it at some point. Everything's been redone on it.
Oh wow. Okay. How long you been there?
But I've had it about 10 years. Well,
10
since 2011.
years. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, if you're not interested in selling, there's nothing I can help you with. Would you mind if I stayed in touch with you until you do decide to do something down the road?
One of these days I might.
All right. That sounds good. What's a good email to keep in contact with you on?
Steve,
Well, I really appreciate it, and if there's ever anything I can do, just reach out.
okay. What are you? I guess the name you gave me. You're a realtor.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever got a real nice house that needed work, a little better house than mine that needed work, you know, and you wanted to work out a swap or something, I might do that, because that's what I do in my spare time is I redo houses.
Oh, really? Do you do everything, or do you like is there specific stuff you focus on?
Well, I can do everything, but there's some things I haven't been able to do down there. See, I live in Arkansas.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I'm a golfer, and that's why I play a lot of golf up at the PGA Village.
Yeah.
So anyway, you know, I've done about everything I can do to that house, but you know, the things that need a permit, I don't have a Florida driver's license, so I can't pull a permit. So I have to have other people do the work for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, well, I'll definitely keep my eyes open. That's interesting. I'd love to help you with that. That's awesome.
All right.
Okay.
Well, if you come across something, okay?
All right. Well, thank you, sir. It was great talking to you. I hope you have a great weekend.
You too.
All right. Yep. Goodbye now. That was a great call. That was a great call. So let me go in here and just give this dispositions. So right there, right? A lot of people would have heard that guy say, I'm not selling my house. And that would have been the end of the conversation. I just got a lot out of that guy. Number one, I got an email address, so I can market to that guy every single week forever, right? Number two, he told me what he does. We built a little bit of a relationship there. And now I've got a reason to call him in a month or two and say, hey, I found something that kind of fits what you were talking about. And now I don't fully know what it is he wants to do, right? If he's looking to flip, if he's just looking for contract work, I'm not 100% sure. And I didn't want to get too detailed with it there because it gives me a great reason to call him back in a few weeks. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put him on my CRM. I'm going to say, hey, call him back in a month. This is kind of what he's looking for. And at worst, he's going to say, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this. Oh, cool. Well, let me look for that, and I'll get back to you. And then I'll get back to him in a day or two with that, right? Now, I've made 3 contacts already. We've started to build a relationship. So that's kind of the purpose behind that. I think so many people, they're looking for the appointment. If they don't get the appointment, it's game over, right? I think that when you're using Constant Contact or whoever it is you're using for your email, it gives you the ability to keep on marketing to them, keep on branding yourself, even though you didn't get the appointment right now. So anyway, that's the whole reasoning behind that. That was a great call to show that. Listen though, we're at 32 calls. I have to keep going because we got to get 65. So let's keep rolling here. Do I need that? No, I don't need that. So let's keep her going. Now I'm fired up, man. Stuff juices me up. Oh man, I got the wrong number. I apologize.
No problem.
Have a good one. Bum, 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 bum. Let's keep going.
Forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 9.
We're not leaving voicemails. I sing to myself all day. I hope you don't mind. I'm a 5 out of 10 singer, but the effort is there. And we're only 19 minutes in. I've hit 40 calls already.
You have reached the voicemail
So you can see we're at about a rate of 120, 125 an hour.
6, 4, 6, 3, 1, 9.
And I'm also talking to you guys a lot. Like I could have shut that down 3-4 seconds quicker and gotten on. I'm moving kind of slow here, so I can't say enough about a triple dialer, man. At the end of this video, I'm going to talk numbers with you a little bit, right? Expectations. Because I know if I was a new agent and I had no cash, I'd be thinking, that's expensive. Even if it's $50. But I'm going to tell you what you get for that at the end.
Hello?
Mr. Cabanella.
Nope, you got the wrong number.
I apologize. Thanks, man. Have a good one. So I'm going to tell you at the end what you can expect numbers-wise, right? Because I'm always thinking, how full am I going to fill that funnel? That conversation I just had, how many emails like that am I going to get? How many appointments am I going to get? We'll talk about that at the end. And I tell you what, well, you can see how long this video is. You know better than I do. We're at 48 calls, baby. Baby. This isn't scary. That call that we started this video off on is probably one of the top 5 most aggressive calls I've gotten this year. That's as bad as it gets. We're at 51. It's just ringing through the numbers. It's fast.
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 7.
That would have been a challenging name. Whenever I see challenging names and their voicemail, I'm like, whew. I don't know what I would have said.
Hello. Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
No. If it's a name that you know you're going to mess up too, a lot of times what I'll do is instead of saying, hey, and then jacking up their name, I will just skip to, hey, this is Joe Rosen with Keller Williams. How you doing? Now, like I said in the beginning, your hang-up rate's going to be a little bit higher starting with that instead of hello, whatever the name is. But I think that my hang-up rate is still lower doing that than it is messing up their name horribly. My name's Rosen. When I get calls and it's like, hey, Mr. Rosen, instantly I'm like, see you later, buddy. But if they were to say, hey, this is Tim with whatever, I'd be like, all right, Tim, what do you want? Like, what's your pitch? Let's get to it, baby. So I might actually give him a chance there, right? But that's just me. Just, you really need to think. What I'm trying to push you on here is really think of the words you're using and look at the reactions you get. And what works for me isn't going to work for you and vice versa, right? Like, take the gist of what I'm doing here, but make it yours. Make sure you're comfortable with it, but make it yours. All right, let's keep going. We're at 56. Ooh.
After the tone.
Man, I got the coughs today. Always keep water by you. Because if you start getting into a coughing fit, you're screwed, man. Keep that water. Stay hydrated. It's tough to do this, maintain focus, and have a good conversation with you guys at the same time. It's tough. But I'm trying. We're at 58. We're almost there. And this is taking...
Hello?
Hey, Miss Ramos.
You got the wrong number.
Oh, I apologize. Thanks. You could go into, when it's a wrong number, you could keep going. In fact, I'm going to do that on the next one. Let's see how I do with that.
You have reached the voicemail box of 77.
So for me personally, I have a 65 call minimum a day, plus I have to hit, it's a point system, right? It's 5 points. If I've got nothing going on, I'm not going to explain the point system right now, but if I've got nothing going on throughout the day, no new listings, no pending contracts, no appointments, no nothing, it means I've got to get 10 conversations in, because a conversation is a half a point. 10 times a half is 5 points, right? What's a conversation for me? A conversation is, hey, this is Joe Rosen with Keller Williams. If it's like that first guy where he's like, hey, listen, don't ever call me again, boom, that's a conversation. I don't care. I got my half point. So those are the two things I have to hit personally. If you do that, again, we're going to talk about it at the end. Let's just talk about it right now. If I've gone through my numbers, right? For every 100 calls I make, which you can make 100 calls a day, that's not a big deal. You can see that if you've got the triple dialer, you're making 100 calls in probably 50-ish minutes if you're going at the pace that I'm going, which you'd be going at a faster pace than I'm going because I'm talking a lot here, right, with you guys. You can do that in 50 minutes a day. If you make 100 calls, you're going to likely have around 8-9 conversations. So you've almost hit my 10, right, in 50 minutes. In an hour, you might be able to actually hit it. If you go over, it's only going to be an hour 15, hour 20. It's not really that much more to hit those 10 conversations on average. You could have a conversation that lasts 90 minutes, right, if it's a really good conversation. But I guess my point is you want to focus on the on average numbers, right? So you're going to hit 8-9 conversations in a 50-minute period. You're going to get in 100 calls, and I get about 4 or 5 emails. You're going to see those numbers change. They're going to change day to day. Sometimes I'll do 100 calls and I'll get no emails. Sometimes I'll do 100 calls and I get 13 emails. So you're going to see different numbers, but on average I get about 4 or 5 out of 100 calls. You'll see too, I mean, you've seen how many people pick up and I actually have conversations with. I've called 63 people. It's different day to day, time to time, subdivision to subdivision. So really just test it, right? Get out there and play with it. Because what I see a lot of people do is they'll do this for a month and they'll do 100 one day, 100 the next day, 100 the next day, 30 the next day, 10 the next day, take 6 days off, do 23. By the end of the month, the whole month, they've done 500 calls and they're like, cold calling doesn't work. It's not going to work if that's all you're doing, right? So let's keep going. We got to get to 65 and then we'll stop it for the day here. Hey, you. Hey, Mr. Martin.
Martin?
Yeah, I'm looking for the owner of Southwest Pruitt Street. Is that you?
No.
No? All right. Are you in Port St. Lucie?
Yep.
Oh, you are? Okay. Well, say, I was just calling to let the guy at Pruitt Street know that there was a home that had just sold near his house. But I guess I'll ask you if there's anything I can do for you real estate-wise.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. If you were to do something down the road, is there a realtor you'd use? And the hang up. I don't even think I said my name there, man, which is a big mistake because I didn't get myself marketed. But that was my attempt at going after a wrong number, right? You can still do it. You can see how you can do it. And what I lose doing that, 8 seconds, it's not a big deal. Okay, resume. We're at 65 right now, so we'll make this the last one.
Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to connect you.
So you can do those too, right? The Google Voice, leave your name. It just takes more time, so I don't do it. But you could. Just crunch the numbers. I just haven't crunched the numbers to see if it makes sense or not. I'm going to keep going. Sorry. 7 more minutes, and then I quit. You get addicted to the numbers, man. It's fun once you start doing it. And I'd really push you to gamify it also. Make a game out of it.
You have reached the voicemail box.
I told you that I
30.
use a point system, and it really keeps me into it. It makes me want to keep going.
Welcome to the Magic Jack automatic call screening service. To reach the
Welcome to Magic Jack. Your screening service worked. Come on, baby. Boom. Oh, I see what it's doing. 6 more minutes, folks. 6 more minutes. I don't know why people don't do cold calling. I know they don't. And I know that those who do it consistently over time succeed. Like the biggest people in real estate, the biggest people in any sales industry. If you get in front of people consistently, you're going to succeed. And if you don't, and you're nervous and you don't like rejection, you're going to fail. But just do it. You know, I always talk about the pain. There's pain associated with cold calling if you're new at it, right? You're like, oh, I hate this. I don't want rejection. I don't want to get told to screw off. But think of the pain of not feeding your kids, not feeding your family, not feeding yourself, the embarrassment of failing at your business when you 100% control it, right? So just do it, man. Just do it. It's not like, do I look scared? It's not scary at all. And I had a bad conversation in the beginning and I just don't care because I care about my family and I want to feed them. And all I got to do is call 65 people a day and have 10 great conversations and the funnel gets filled, right? So just do it. We got 5 more minutes. We're at 74 calls. This person's name, Resident. I'm gonna have a tough time with this one. That's a bad mindset, by the way. Let's change it into a good mindset. I'm gonna rock this person's socks off. Here we go. Come on, pick up. This game is really big.
You have reached the voicemail box of 772.
On mindset. You see that little mindset I had? I saw Resident and I was like, oh, I'm screwed. Who cares? Just do it and come with all the excitement in the world, and whatever happens, happens. Just
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
A lot of people ask me too, when do you call? When's the best time to call, right? The best time to call is whenever you will call. So I always try to make it the first block of time that I have in the day that's not already under an appointment, right? So if I've got a 9 o'clock appointment and it's going to last till 10, then I will make my calls from 10 to 11:30, 10 to 12, whatever it is. If I don't have an appointment, I just start at 9 o'clock and I don't book anything until maybe 11, 11:30, so I know I get those calls in. I've gone back and forth with, is it better to say, hey Bob, or hey Mr. Jackson? I've actually tracked the numbers.
Hey, you've reached the queue. I'll try to get back to you.
And I do better using their last name. But you'll see sometimes I don't, right? Sometimes the last name is kind of challenging to pronounce. I'll go with the first name. If the first name is challenging, I absolutely go with the last name. But if they're both simple, I'll always go with the last name just because I've tracked the numbers and I do better with that. 3 more minutes and we're at 77 calls, man, in 34 minutes. I'm going to sell this one right here. This is the one. Come on, pick up.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Saturday, man. Getting a lot of voicemails. Just think if you didn't have a dialer, how long this would take. Oh, you look beautiful. Hey, I'm making calls. You gotta close the door, bud. But you look great. My little lady. She's 4. Little princess.
Hello.
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah, who this?
Hey, this is Joe Rosen with Keller Williams. How you doing?
Who is it?
Joe Rosen with Keller Williams. I'm probably, I don't know, 5 minutes west of you. Are you there?
Your name is what? And what do you want?
Yeah, my name is Joe Rosen. I'm just calling to give you some information. I see you're on Salmon Road, and there was a home just a few blocks down that sold 2 days ago. I was just calling to see if there's anything
Wait a minute. Hold on. You want to talk to Tom?
Yeah.
I don't live here. I'm visiting.
Oh, I got you. Okay, yeah, I'd like to talk with Tom if that's all right.
You know Tom?
Tom Leiden? Yeah.
Okay, I'll get Tom right.
Thanks.
You can talk to him.
Cool.
Hold on. Hello? It's Joe Rosen. Hello?
Tom?
Who is this?
Hey, this is Joe Rosen. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams. I'm calling because I see...
Want to sell my house?
I would sell your house. That's not why I'm calling, but if that's what you want to do, I'd certainly help you with it.
No.
Okay.
No. What are you calling for, dear?
No, I see you're on Salmon Road, and I was just looking at the MLS. There was a home a few blocks down that sold 2 days ago. I was just calling to let you know and to see if there's anything I could help you with.
No, how much is you mean the new home that's being built?
Yeah, that one just sold 2 days ago. It was a D.R. Horton home, and it sold for $241.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for the buyer.
I was going to say, that's a cheap new build. Yeah, I agree. So,
Okay.
if you were to do something down the road, is there a realtor you'd use?
No, I hope I die in Florida.
I hear you, man. I'm in the same boat. Well, I tell you what, last question. Would you mind if I stayed in touch with you?
I'm from Boston. No, I love Florida, so, yeah.
You're from I got to ask you,
Okay, well,
can I ask you a personal, well, it's not really a personal question, but my wife and I are going to Boston in November. Can you give me one place that I have to go? Boston.
How long are you staying?
We'll probably be there for about a week.
Okay. Where are you going in Boston? Why are you going to Boston? Let me ask you that.
We're going for our 10-year wedding anniversary.
Oh. You don't come from Boston?
No, I've never been there.
Oh, well, no. It's they have a lot around. Go to Boston Commons.
Boston.
Go to, let's see, there's the, who's the guy that, in the start of the the revolution that had the lights, one for land and two by sea,
Paul Revere?
Paul Revere House, go see that. That's in,
Paul
the
Revere.
north end, and go to the north end. Go to the they took down all of the railroads, and there's also in the overhead they took down a lot of steel things or whatever, and they put in a lot of nice foliage.
Yeah.
I don't know about November. I don't know if all the leaves will be off the tree. And then I would take a trip to Salem, Massachusetts.
Ooh.
Are you familiar with Salem?
That's the witches, right?
Yes. There's a lot of witchery stuff there, right in the center of the town. There's a witch house. There's a witch dungeon. There's you'll see the Laurie Cabot, the witch of Salem, which actually come from Anaheim, California, where she's still living. It's not horror stuff. It's fun stuff.
Just cool, yeah.
Well, they don't make. They aren't gonna. It's a little bit laughable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe now, yeah.
Okay. Well, no, in the olden days,
the hysteria was real, and it's sad that the people believed
Yeah.
teenage girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, Salem is a very historic city. Boston's very historic. They probably will have a lot of flyers when say where a normal flyers are.
Oh,
Maybe
really?
at the airport. I don't. Oh yeah, and then like you could. I don't know. You'll have a car, so you can go up to Gloucester, Massachusetts. That's probably 15 minutes from Salem on the highway.
How do you spell
And
that?
that's where. Huh?
How do you spell that?
Gloucester, Glou.
S-
Cester.
C-E-
Something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Gloucester. Yeah, that's very, very historic with all. It used to be all probably Italians and Portuguese fishermen, and that is a very cute little town to go around. And on the bridge, on the main drag, they have the Gloucester fisherman statue and the Gloucester wife statue waiting for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that goes back to the 1600s. And
Wow.
Salem is very 1600ish. And
That's crazy.
do you like fried clams?
Heck yeah, I do.
Okay, go to the, all right, well, probably, I'm trying to think, there's quite a few places, there's Clam Box, that's up near there, and you go to Gloucester, around there you'll probably see fried clams, and they're right from Ipswich. The clams don't come too far from where you're going to get them.
Yeah, fresh.
That's where they and have a lobster or two. That's where they come from.
Yes.
And let's see. You could go down to Plymouth, but I would say Plymouth is just the rock. The Plymouth Rock used to be a big rock where the boat came into.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's only about a little mound now, but they have it encased. Nobody can go near it. But it's getting so
Interesting.
the water over the 200, 300 years.
Yeah.
It's small, so don't be. You can go there. That's a good city, but don't be surprised if the rock is like a little rock.
That's so interesting.
And then let's see. Well, I'm heading you up north there. So let's see. I got Gloucester. That's good. Salem's good. Boston's good. And you'll get flyers, and they're kind of like authentic. And if you see the Paul Revere house, my dad was born in Naples, Italy, and he came over when he was about 10, and he lived right near that street there, what I just said, the Paul Revere house. And
Wow.
I guess I'm talking. Now it was settled by the Irish way back, and then the Italians took over, and then now it's everybody. Wherever you wear, all kinds of people. So it's probably. Oh, and go to. Did I say? It's like a square. Let's see what. Gotta think.
Well, I tell you, you've got me loads of ideas here, like way more than we'd be able to do in a week. So we're good. I appreciate that.
Okay, and well, the place I'm thinking of is got, it's kind of like a little square, like it got a few buildings, and, of course they have, do you like fish chowder or clam chowder?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, you go into the place where, up in Boston, they got, it's cold water that, it's not warm down, like 80 down here. It's,
Yeah.
probably 33 degrees. So all the clams and the fish are really good. You taste, they got a good taste to them. So have a few chowders and have a few beers. And
Yeah.
how many people are going?
Just my wife and I.
How many? Oh, well then you don't need to be slowed down.
Yeah, we can move quick.
Yeah, well, I know, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have 5 kids and you gotta stop the party and all that.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, any other questions about up there?
No, but my gosh, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. That is so helpful. Thank you so much. Would you be okay if I sent you... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I lived in a city called Peabody, which used to be part of Salem. And Peabody, not now, but years ago, used to be known as the world's largest leather city.
Wow.
They used to ship the the hides up by train. And then Lynn, you probably, that's near it. It is, it's just too commercial now, but that used to be the shoe manufacturer of the world. Way back.
It's got some history to it.
Oh yeah, well you're going up to a place that goes back to like the 1600s. So
Wow.
it isn't like Timbuktu, Montana.
Yeah.
It's really packed.
Yeah.
It just it has. But you probably, when you're in Salem, you probably walk down the main drag, and it has a lot of flyers, I would imagine, and there will be people like walking in costume and Frankenstein. Me and my kids got a picture with Frankenstein.
Oh, wow.
And and they Salem got a big historical institute or something. I don't know. You go in and you'll see all these artifacts. So anyway, you have a good time.
Well, I really appreciate it. Would you be all right if I sent you a thank you email?
No, don't bother doing that. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, just have fun and eat a lot of fried. Go up to Essex and Gloucester and have a lot of clams and there's a diverse ethnic food everywhere, but fish chowder and clam chowder, that's the best. That's where originally they come from. So
Awesome.
all right.
All
Have
right.
a wonderful day.
Thank you, ma'am. You too.
Bye.
Holy smokes. All right, so what's one of my weaknesses? Getting off the doggone phone when, like, all that effort, and I didn't even get an email out of it. But listen, you got to build relationships with people, man. Don't focus on, like, I don't care. I'm still going to have long conversations like that with people because it builds real relationships, right? Like, I genuinely am going to Boston, and I genuinely am going for our 10-year anniversary, and I'm genuinely interested in what we could do. Now I got some great ideas, so that's awesome. But when you build real rapport like that, and you really have a good conversation with people like that, it is a lot easier to get an email. Now, for her, it just didn't work out, but what a great conversation. It was lengthy, but it was a good conversation. So, even with that long conversation, right now we hit 50 minutes. And in 50 minutes, I got 86 calls, and I've got down that I talked with 5 people, and I got an email address. So that's the email addresses. I usually do a little bit better than that, But that's a good day. And you're not worried about what you do today. You're worried about what you do long term. So it was a great day. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. If there's anything I can ever do for you, just reach out and let me know. I've got my email down below. I've got the discount information for Constant Contact. It's a code that you use. For RedX, I'm going to put the page that you go to, and then you get the $250 off. But again, anything I can ever help you with, you guys just let me know. You guys have a great day, man.